Hello everyone, you join me back for Armored Core August. In today's video, we are covering the 9th entry in the series, that being Armored Core 9breaker. A PS2 spin-off from Armored Core Nexus and based heavily on the arena mode. Before we begin, I gotta give props once again to Halo for his lovely thumbnails. I'd also like to ask y'all to support the content however you'd like to boost it, be that a like, commenting your thoughts on the series and videos, or even sharing it with friends. Now let's begin, shall we? What's the story? There is no story. You're a Raven who is recognized for their skill, and as such, you are invited to an exclusive group to do some training and earn your way up the arena. That's literally all there is. 9breaker is both the title received by the Raven who beats 9ball at the end of Armored Core 1, and is also a spin-off for Armored Core Nexus. That's really not much to go off. This game feels like 10 steps back from what Nexus was, and I know spin-offs are typically supposed to be something different, like how Resident Evil Dead Aim being a first-person light gun shooter. But honestly, this entire game could have just been a mode attached to any of the other Armored Cores, and I wouldn't have noticed it out of place. But on its own, it's just kinda meh. Let's cover it in more detail in the gameplay though, shall we? So first up, let's just address the elephant in the room. There is no story mode, there is no missions. The new training mode is just around 150 minigames, all aimed at training and increasing various skills that a player could need and use in any of the Armored Core games. This on its own isn't a bad thing. The bad thing is all there is to do is these mini games in the arena mode. There's no interesting story to learn, corporations vying for power and deceit, no money to be earned, and while there is around 400 parts, the majority of them are already available from the start of the game, with a handful of them being earnable via either completing training milestones or climbing the arena rankings, which the arena rankings are done super fucking weird now. Instead of fighting your way up one opponent at a time, you now earn points in the arena matches, with bonuses based on performance modifiers, and the more points you get, the higher your ranking climbs, starting out at C, then B, then A class Ravens, then finally pushing into the traditional top 30. You think here's where it plays like the normal arena, but nope. Now you continue to earn points, and then when you meet a certain threshold, you'll be eligible to challenge a specific opponent and take their place. As I started my arena ranking out at 20 out of 30 instead of 30. Essentially, you'll jump around placings instead of fighting your way up ladder style. Another weird thing is how the arena ranking works. So for all the A, B, and C Ravens, they are pretty much randomized, with their mechs changing even between matches, with the only thing staying consistent is their names. And as you climb, you unlock new parameters to allow you to search Ravens that you want to fight in different styles, such as light, medium, or heavyweights, or close, mid, or long-range fighters, which I mean is kinda cool, but given that all the A, B, and C Ravens have literally no personality and description outside of some kind of wacky paint schemes, it's honestly kinda boring. The trainings are dull, and the arena mode, while still featuring the solid gameplay of Nexus, gets really damn boring when that's all you're doing is fighting mech after mech in the arena. Hell, it's not even hard to climb the ranks pretty quickly. Within 3 hours of recording, and this is with the demo, and some training mode too, I was already in the top 10 of the arena mode. Honestly, the way Armored Core 3 or Nexus did their arena mode was much better, with it being paced out and not just one long slog. Hell, another dumb thing you can do is just fight the same guy over and over again once you know how one of them works to grind points and push higher. Take Poco Poco for example. This poor bastard usually spawned on the same map, Underground Factory, so what I could do is wait around the corner, force him to overshoot the gap, and then he'd push his mech into a corner, and given he is a heavy floater, he would essentially just be stuck in the corner ripe for the picking with bazooka cannons and exceed orbits to melt his health bar like butter. And that's just one example. I killed him 3 or 4 times like that for easy points because the game kept recommending him. Now if you do want to push through all the training missions and earn gold on all of them, it And yeah, there's a lot more hours of content, but each mission is usually short in time to be a couple minutes at most, and are exceedingly dull. Like shoot your way through 60 panels as fast as possible, or fly your way up and down a series of pits 3 times in a certain amount of time, or shoot a certain amount of targets within a specific amount of time. They aren't exactly riveting gameplay on their own. Sure, they do help to teach you skills that you can apply in other Armored Core games, which I won't fault them at that, but I honestly feel this entire game could have just been a bonus mode attached to say Nexus or 3, and it would have felt more in place. Overall, this game's kind of a letdown in pretty much every regard, unless you just want to smash mechs against mechs, or train those random skills. Visually, the graphics are fine, they hold up, but many of the arenas are just recycled from older games, and the training missions are often just bland and generic, or even the same areas just reused over and over again for the various trainings. I will say the soundtrack is still pretty fantastic, so it at least still has that going for it. So that's about the only part of the experience I really enjoyed. The arena didn't feel that satisfying because, you know, all the parts are free. Performance-wise, it runs fine, but with the slight slowdown on really big explosions. But honestly, there's just not much to say about this game good. Let's move on, shall we? Honestly, I can't recommend this game to anyone except those really looking to train their skills in a place that'll force you to do these different things. But even then, I'd recommend you just save frequently in the older games and bounce back and forth between different missions to learn things. And given that this game has massively spiked from $50 to over $120, yeah, I really can't recommend you go out and purchase it. Maybe emulate it if you're really curious, but it's honestly an entirely skippable entry. Play Nexus or Armored Core 3 for a better time, or almost literally any other game in the series. Honestly, this game bored the hell out of me, and I'd pretty much completed the arena mode in about 3 hours of gameplay, and I sure as shit wasn't about to do 150 missions of go through this hallway as fast as possible. But now do it again, but with a tighter time limit. But now do it again, but with more obstacles in the way. Or destroy all these targets in this set time. Now do it again, but faster. Or do it again, but there's more of them. That's pretty much what this game entirely is. 150 mini-game missions. Honestly, you're better off playing literally any other entry in the series. But I think that's enough time spent on this entry. So before we go, I want to once again thank HaloOwl for his lovely thumbnails. I'd like to also thank all the members seen on screen, as y'all's support helps keep the content coming. And I can't forget all of y'all watching and supporting these videos too. Y'all are great. Now with this spinoff complete, let's jump into the next spinoff and the 10th entry in the series, Armored Core Formula Front for the PSP. This has been Core, and I'll see you then.